Hi guys, this is Ms Gretchen. I'm the Seed to Table Director for the Boys and Girls Club, and during this time in shelter in place, I'm going to just have a look at a cookbook with you guys and talk about how to read a recipe and some of the things you might be cooking at home. So, this is one of the kids' cookbooks that I brought home to look at with you. This is the Boys and Girls Club cookbook, and it's called the Culinary Institute of America, The Young Chef, Recipes and Techniques for Kids Who Love to Cook. This is a great beginning cookbook for older kids. The writing is small, but I'll bring home another little kid cookbook another day. But this is one I already had here. So we are going to look at a flexible recipe, which is always good during the pandemic when we can't always find everything we're looking for at the store. Here we go. Cheesy scrambled eggs. Now, one of the first times I was babysitting for maybe a 10-year-old, I was really impressed that she told me she knew how to make scrambled eggs. So, and she did. She made scrambled eggs for us to have for dinner while I was babysitting. So I thought this might be an achievable recipe for you guys at home, if you have permission to use the stove. Supervision with the stove is definitely a good idea. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do a combination of you seeing me and you seeing the book. Cheesy scrambled eggs. So the recipe in general has a title, right? This one tells us how many servings it makes. It has the ingredients here and then the method, okay? Now it's important to look at the whole recipe before you start, right? And then over here, we see there's like 4 different suggestions for what might go in your scrambled eggs. So the recipe is just for super basic without any additions. But then it says over here, think like a chef, and you can add other ingredients to scrambled eggs too to make it kind of a healthier, more complete meal if it has a lot of vegetables in it. Meats and some vegetables should already be cooked before you add them to the scrambled eggs. Onions and peppers, for example, should be sauteed first to develop flavor and soften them a bit. Spinach should be sauteed, though you could throw spinach in raw at the end, to soften it and remove some of its moisture. All ingredients should be relatively dry, as you don't want to add extra liquid. This would make your eggs runny. Okay. So we're going to look at those 4 combinations just to kind of get you excited about making this recipe, and then we'll take a closer look at the recipe itself. So we have Greek scrambled eggs. Let's see if I can read this on the screen. It's got feta cheese, spinach, roasted peppers, I don't know how to say that word. One that's got sliced onions, black beans, green tomatillo sauce, tortilla chips in your scrambled eggs. Wow. And cheddar cheese. It's kind of like nacho scrambled eggs. All right. And then we've got a Denver style eggs with ham, bell pepper, onions, and cheddar cheese, or mushroom scrambled eggs, mushroom, spinach, Swiss cheese. So all sorts of things can go into your scrambled eggs and make a great meal. And eggs are good any time of day. It could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. All right, let's take a closer look at the main recipe, the scrambled eggs themselves. Okay, we've got, for 4 servings, 8 eggs. So how many eggs is that per person? 2, right? That's pretty normal, 2 eggs per person. Sometimes if you're doing a big batch, you might just want to, and you have an extra egg, you could throw in kind of 1 for the pan, they say. Some of that egg often ends up getting stuck to your pan. Okay, we've got milk. That's optional. You can also add a little water if your family doesn't do milk. How much milk does it say? 1/4 cup of milk to 8 eggs. So that's really just kind of a big splash. And if you're doing less eggs, even less milk. A 1/4 teaspoon salt. Here we go. Pinch of black ground pepper. 1 tablespoon butter or vegetable oil. And a 1/2 cup of grated cheese, such as cheddar. You could use Monterey Jack, pepper jack if you like it a little spicy, anything like that. Okay, So then we have 4 instructions, right? So before you start making your ingredients, your dish, you want to get all your ingredients out. Make sure you have them. Make sure you have your measuring cups, and then you can get started. In a mixing bowl, combine the eggs, milk, and salt and pepper. Beat with a whisk until combined. You can use a fork if you don't have a whisk. Okay, what's next? Meanwhile, heat the butter or oil in a large non-stick saute pan over medium heat. Then, number 3, add the egg mixture to the hot pan and cook, stirring with a heat-safe rubber spatula until large, firm pieces form, about 5 minutes. The eggs should be firm but not dry. If you don't have a heat-proof rubber spatula, I don't, you can use a wooden spatula, just something that's not going to scratch the surface of your pan. And if you are using a cast iron pan or just a stainless steel pan that does not have a nonstick surface, you could use a metal spatula. Okay, what's next? Add the cheese to the eggs in the pan and mix until it's fully incorporated and melted. Remove from the heat and serve immediately. So if you were adding in the vegetables, I would add those in before the cheese. What's our chef's note here? Here we are. When choosing your cheese, make sure you use a semi-soft cheese that is good for melting. Oh, Swiss is another good one besides Monterey Jack. And our fun fact. Ooh, how many eggs does a chicken lay in a day? That is a fun fact. The typical range is 1 to 2 a day, but sometimes none. The factors that affect how many eggs a chicken will lay are the time of year. Chickens will stop laying eggs entirely in the winter unless you leave a light on and trick them into feeling like the days are longer. Interesting. The breed of chicken, some are excellent layers and some are not. The age of the chicken. Chickens start laying eggs when they are about 6 months old and stop when they are around 5 years old. When chickens are molting, that means they're losing their feathers, they lay fewer eggs. And happy chickens lay more eggs. I wonder if any of you have a chicken at home. I have worked in places with chickens, but I've never had my own chicken. So, that is our cheesy scrambled eggs. Cheese is optional, vegetables optional, but it's always a great idea to add in some vegetables. Different colors are going to get you different vitamins and minerals, so maybe trying to find something red and something green to add on into those scrambled eggs. They go great on top of toast or with toast on the side. Maybe you like to have a full English breakfast style with like roasted mushrooms or potatoes, hash browns. You could put scrambled eggs inside a burrito, all sorts of things. So that's just one recipe from the Young Chef Cookbook, and I hope that you guys are getting a chance to try out some cooking at home. Until next time.